Hmm, this is looking like a decent pace. I'm sure nothing wrong could happen here. Something wrong has happened here, clearly. Pillboxes. What are they? How do they work? And why are they good? If you're looking for the answer for these questions, you should probably look for a guy who can math, because I cannot. What I can do is brute force mechanics until we can find an answer. I play with mods, so I'll also be covering turrets included in these mods. First things first, killbox layout. You need an entrance filled with any sort of block separated by one space to slow down raiders. The opening should be filled to force enemies into the killbox where they cannot find any cover. Separate turrets in your killbox by walls, otherwise this happens. Finally, have a spot for a colonist to throw EMP grenade at the entrance. This is super effective for mech raids, but make sure that your killbox is wide enough that you do not end up stunning your own turrets, like this. Also, do not waste your time. Here are timestamps for killboxes related to specific bases, and these are for some brute force numbers on modded turrets since I couldn't really find them on the internet. Superstructure killboxes look a bit like this. Usually you want to bait raiders into entrances which can be trapped or barricaded depending on how many resources you want to waste. Spend. I'm sure they won't multiply next time. In these structures, you usually want to have a couple of entrances, since sometimes enemies might just start tearing down your walls if the entrance is too far away. Which also means at least 2 killboxes and a lot of resources and electricity, so these are kinda difficult to complete. While these types of layouts will usually work, bases like these come to an end due to a siege, raid or sappers, or simply pirates landing into a dining room. Thanks, Randy. So always be on the lookout for those. Overall, expensive to build, but will save you from almost every normal raid. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. If you build bases like these, you're not looking for kill boxes, you're looking for kill fields. Your best bet is to make choke points, bait raiders with your pawns, and hope your shots land. You can always fill pathways with traps, but that will end up being very expensive for both resources and time. And old Billy might have more important work to do instead of working on traps for their entire life. Also clear out cover for enemies and make sandbags barricades your first point of contact. It's cheaper to build, but it will also be overrun by those multiplying zombie-like tribal raids. And almost every other kind of raid as well. Now these bases can really fortify themselves up against pretty much all types of raids. Maybe not all. But a good mountain base can really force every raid into a choke point, even sappers since they usually don't want to mine through an entire mountain to get to you. You can build a killbox inside the mountain or outside, but unless you plan to lock yourself up and never leave the mountain, outside killboxes usually work out fine. The easiest and most effective ways to use the killbox in, but better be careful of those dark corners filled with the crawling death, otherwise you'll die very quickly. I'll be comparing the usual turrets and the mod variants, and then cannon turrets, which are useful but not really necessary in killboxes. I'll quickly go over the turrets. I've placed walls to show the maximum range at which these turrets can shoot. The main turret on its own is pretty good. It can probably take you to the end game and you should still be fine as long as you have good coolness. Nothing special about this, it just works. Military turret shoots 4 shots, longer cooldown than the mini turret, but very good overall. Flame turret, low range, good against human enemies, not really that good for a kill box. Searchlight, useless. Sentry guns, these are long range turrets that don't require electricity, but the inaccuracy and low shot capacity makes them hard to use. Deployable turret, almost identical to military turret, except turns into a tile when unpowered, so if you really hate walking over turrets, you can use these I guess. Charge turrets, expensive to build and rearm, but higher damage and accuracy than the other turrets. Okay, all autocannon turrets have a minimum hit distance beyond which they cannot hit. They are more accurate at longer ranges, and they deal a lot of damage. The autocannon turret and the uranium slug turret are available in the base game. They're pretty good on their own. The double autocannon turret is slightly less accurate than the base version, but it is also 2 cannons in one. The rocket turret has low armor penetration. The charge railgun is very accurate and it's very long range. And the EMP cannon hits mechanoids, but it deals with them pretty well. Now for the dreaded part, math. I created a simple killbox filled with each type of turret, and then put them under 30 raids of same intensity. 10 of each type, tribals, raiders, and mechanoids. And these were the results. Surprisingly, the low health capacity of these turrets helped them a lot against these raids since they would just blow up against the melee raiders. So they did perform well, but I don't really want to rely on my turrets blowing up to defend against my enemies. But they did perform pretty well. The military turret performed surprisingly well. I mean, they do have much higher health. So, a solid choice overall. I will say that these performed better than the sentry turrets, but every turret performed better than the sentry turrets. I did get a bit unlucky with the pirate raids, considering every raid came with some sort of shield, melee rushes, or grenades, so that was unlucky. These are very loud. Also, it was very surprising to see my turrets just run out of bullets during a raid. Overall, I don't like these turrets. They're not really that good. You can just look at the stats. They are pretty bad. The charge turret performs surprisingly well. Well, it should perform well considering it's the most expensive one, but it dealt with most raids efficiently, and surprisingly it was really good against mechanoids. probably due to the high armor penetration, but once again these are very expensive, so you'd have to be really far into the game to be able to use a kill box full of these. Basic idea for fighting: focus the melee ratios, focus anybody that has grenade or rocket launchers, and focus the auto inferno cannon centipedes. Those can be quite annoying. Now for results. If you're in the early game, you have low resources, or you're just poor, you can build your turret something like this. If you're filthy rich and have more resources than you know what to do with, you can build them like this. Well, this video took way longer than it should have, and I'm very tired. See ya.